CBS presents this program in color.
All right, folks, welcome. Saturday Morning Cartoons rolls on, and yes, Batman is coming up next. But in between, hopefully you're enjoying X-Men. But in between, every time I get somebody, just for a few minutes, if nothing else, Netters Network's being with me. Yes, there's a What's Your Story and a Padawan Be Challenge, folks. Make sure you catch those video clips that are out there too. But here we are, rocking and rolling. Everyone is a buzz about cartoons and our memories Saturday mornings. Netter, we were allowed to sit in front of the TV for hours for some reason on Saturdays. What were some of the ones and the memories that like still stand out to you to this day?
Well, of course, there's the classics, Tom and Jerry and those ones. But I also remember Captain Cool and the Kong because it was part of the Sid Croft or
Sid and Marty Croft.
Yeah, Marty
Sid and
Croft Super Show.
Mm-hmm.
And they would show all these different cartoons and some live action shows as well, like H.R. Puff and stuff. I used to love watching that when I was a kid. So it's like, yeah, I go way back.
No, Arwen brought up Sigmund and the Sea Monster and Land of the Lost. So you were not alone. You were amongst your own here, lady. You were amongst your own. Yes.
Yeah, there's that. And of course, Josie and the Pussycats. I used to watch the Archies. They used to have Mighty Mouse that would show every once in a while. So a lot of those. And then, of course, if you were from the Chicagoland area, sometimes you would get, what was it? Kugler, Fran, and Ollie. And then you would get Fraser Thomas, wrong Fraser Thomas, who also did the Bozo Show. He would have a segment. It actually would run on Sundays, but he would show cartoons with Garfield Goose.
This is WGN Television, Chicago.
Kugler, Fran,
and dear old Ollie.
Here we are again. Here we are again.
Good afternoon. I'm Fraser Thomas, here again to welcome you and act as your host for another Sunday presentation of Family Classics. All you can do is hope for the best, expect the worst, and take what you get.
And now, back to our show.
And then, of course, you'd watch Speed Racer and all of those ones. So, yeah, those were a lot of fun to watch when I was a kid.
That's amazing. Yeah, you kind of got me at the end there. I'm not sure I know about some of the Chicago specific, some of the geography things, because obviously there was a lot of cartoon hosts back then, right? We had some of those cartoons. I knew when I was really little, we had one in Indiana, Cowboy Bob. There's one Polaroid floating around somewhere of me with Cowboy Bob. And I remember that.
Did you have Captain Kangaroo?
Oh, yes. No, I love Captain Kangaroo.
And Ray Rayner.
I ripped an episode of Captain Kangaroo for the grandkids. So if those of you have not heard me, because I love telling the story, so I decided, because I've gotten the grandkids now on 3 separate trips in the last month and a half or so. And I said, well, I'm no longer going to ask them what they're going to watch. I'm just going to tell them what to watch, because they get up. Mrs. Pops is going to run out and do animals. So I got this little gap before they're ready for breakfast, trying to let some other people at least sleep in a little bit. I found these YouTubers that have like these multiple hours of Saturday morning cartoons. And I kid you not, you mentioned it. One of them started with Mighty Mouse. So they watched Mighty Mouse. Banana Splits was in there with like their Three Musketeers cartoon, things like that. So day 2, the little grand, she just turned 5. She says, Pops, can I watch Mighty Mouse again? So I'm like, oh, you can not only watch Mighty Mouse. What would you like for breakfast? Like, you literally, like, you could have just whatever you want. You're melting my heart. So I have used all of this. It's kind of like parlayed into just bringing me joy and happiness. And you name drop some of the best. It's Kid Marty Croft, man. These live action things were such a fun. I mean, sure, it's dated and it's silly, but it was a lot of fun too. I really did. So,
and what I liked is that not all of them were just supposed to be humorous, but you had the more serious ones like Johnny Quest, where they're solving mysteries. And it's like, okay, these are kind of cool too, and which got me into really liking mystery books.
Yeah, that's true. And, it's funny because we were talking about with fantasy, a lot of people are into fantasy, and that Thundar the Barbarian was one of those that Alan Toth helped co-create, like Herculoids and Thunder the Barbarian. It was kind of like an entry, like a gateway drug for fantasy fans. And of course, you know, Banana Splits I briefly mentioned, but obviously Richard Donner had ties to directing some of their live action sequences. So some of the stuff was not cheap or shoddily done. It was some fun stuff, and no wonder we're addicted. No wonder we're addicted. We had hours of this. We were consuming hours of this stuff, and oh yeah, I still have Tom and Jerry, and I still have all this stuff. So yeah, we're all cut from the same cloth, aren't we?
Oh yeah, it's like, I mean, those are classic cartoons. Like, and I think there are some places where you could still see them. I mean, aside from on your channel, there are still some cable stations that'll show them.
Oh
But it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, like the Tom and Jerry ones and Donald Duck, Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse,
Mhm,
those ones too, which I also grew up on. And I always thought it was interesting that Pluto acted more human than dog. And there are, you know, like other dogs that could talk, but he couldn't. It's like, but
mhm.
they're still
Oh, there's no
cartoons.
consistency. Donald doesn't have
No,
pants on. No one wants to talk about his lack of
yeah.
pants, um, but no, so I have to be careful. Obviously, before we even started, I was telling her I was complaining about my copyright fights with my Batman edit because I tried to show a lot of Batman footage so that I point out
Mhm.
some of the animation. So I can't show a lot of these, and it's getting harder and harder. However, Tubi is one of the sites that people don't think about, and it has a plethora of these cartoons, like all of Transformers, all of GI Joe. Yeah, tons of that stuff is on a Tubi. So don't lose out on some of these more obscure apps that maybe it's not at the top of your list, because Tubi is growing because it's a free service with ads. Pluto TV is also one as well. So there's many of these that are out there, not just on Disney Plus and whatever else. So but yeah, folks, listen, Netter, thank you so much, Sharon. Saturday morning cartoons going to roll on. I can't hold back, folks. Yes, here's some cartoon commercials in between. So yes, here's some cartoon commercials. Thank you so much for watching I'm Pops.
We'll return after these messages.
Like cartoon characters, famous places, sports. I got some of them right here, with the reels out of the packets. Now, find the cartoon characters.
I found Donald Duck, Popeye, and Scooby-Doo. Bugs Bunny.
What about you?
Is Washington Monument a cartoon character?
GAF Viewmaster, over 500 three-reel packets available, all purchased separately.
Quiet! I'm me, Fruit Brute, with my fruit-flavored cereal, Fruit Brute, part of your nutritious breakfast. Who are you? But delicious Fruit Brute has fruit-flavored marshmallows for the howling good taste of fruit.
Count Chocula's got chocolate marshmallows.
Frank and Betty's got strawberry-flavored marshmallows.
Fruit Brute, with the howling good taste of fruit.
It's Star Wars radio-controlled R2-D2. 2 9-volt and 2 C alkaline batteries not included. You can make R2-D2 move, beep, and flash his light by wireless radio control.
Hey, let me try.
You can make R2 move forward,
Look out, Dad!
backward, turn, and beep.
Hurry, turn, Dad!
Radio-controlled R2-D2 from the Star Wars collection by Kenner.
My favorite quality about Pops is that he's incredibly honest.
At least you always know where you stand with Pops.
So I like that about him. He's not passive aggressive. He's not sneaky that way. He'll give it to you straight down both ways.